Yeah, what of it?
Welcome back, everybody, again to the Yeah What of It podcast, where you are coming for your weekly entertainment of absolute shithousery. I am Kehan, and always with me are my co-hosts
Harry.
And your boy Jake.
and your boy Jake. Exactly, that's the one. You know what you signed up today. You signed up for crazy news stories. You signed up for the weirdness. You signed up for anything you wouldn't find anywhere else.
You just gave me vibes of same vibes as that guy who will stand in towns and try to sell you bananas. Same vibe.
5 bananas for a
loving
pan.
it.
5 bananas for a pan.
You know what you've
Hot
signed
dogs,
up
burgers, all of that. Hot dogs,
Hot
burgers,
burgers,
bacon rolls
big
for
roll
pound.
per man.
for. 1 pound of fish. Do you remember that?
Oh,
One
God.
fish. Have a look. 1 pound fish. Very, very good.
good.
1 pound fish.
fish.
6 for the 5 or the 1 pound each. 6 for the 5 or the 1 pound each. Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. 1 pound fish. 1 pound fish.
Bloody
Aye,
hell.
aye. Enough of that. Right.
Right.
How's everyone been? What's going on in your lives?
So obviously, since last time, I didn't get to do half my shit because I have zero boundaries for my work.
Mhm.
That's continued.
Excellent.
Just so you know. I get calls at all sorts of crazy times tonight. Sometimes I pay for things off my own debit card, which was actually horrendous. I said I'd never do it, but some poor guy was crying because he couldn't check into a hotel. I'm pretty sure I've been scammed, but we'll find out when I get my expenses back. Obviously, as you guys know, I thought I had a hernia. Turns out it wasn't a hernia, and I made some poor old lady hold my cock and balls. Which I don't know if you've been in that situation, guys. You know,
Funnily
has
enough,
it ever
no.
happened to you? No. But obviously, I didn't want to make eye contact with her because I thought that was very aggressive. But I didn't want to look away because I didn't want to forget who was holding it, and then obviously unleash the Leviathan into her tiny shriveled hands. I'm also hella excited to find out that one of our listeners is from Norway. Because, as you know, your boy's been there. I hung out in Oslo and Lillehammer. Big up those places. What else?
Lilyhammer? Isn't that from a fucking kid's book? Oh no, that's Lilliput.
That's
Never
Lilliput.
mind.
That's Gulliver's Travel.
That's Gulliver's Travel.
Yeah. Welcome to Yeah, What of It? Well, we don't know geography from our fiction books.
Harry, how you been?
Yeah, I'm alright. We now own the flat. And we have started decorating, and everything hurts. I'm in pain. We have... So, long story short, for a month and a half, we said to our previous letting agent, listen, do you want to buy this furniture off of us? Blah, 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 blah. And she said yes. And she was going to take, the whole lot of it, right? And we were like, excellent. When are you going to come get it? Fucking heard nothing. It's the one question she'd ignore. Everything else she answered. But when...
No.
She didn't answer. And then about a week ago, she just sent a text to my fiance saying, oh, yeah, the guys are going to come get it tomorrow. And we were like, what? We thought it would be a gradual thing where we'd get rid of one sofa and then we could buy a new one, replace it, move on to the next item. But no, everything went at the same time. So it looks like a literal bomb has gone off. It's not too bad today. We've painted the lounge. That's pretty much done. My fiance's finishing it off at the moment. I can't be trusted with it because I can't see the colours, as we learned yesterday. I was doing it and I was rolling it, thinking I was doing a really good job, and she was like, "You've missed out huge sections," and I thought she was winding me up. I was like, "Nah, fuck off. I'm doing a great job." And she was like, "No, you have to stop." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was pointing at the wall, going, "Can you not see this?" And I was going, "It's white." She's going, "No, it's not. It's yellow." And I was like, "It's white." So that was great. So I'm not allowed to paint anymore, for the safety of everyone, really.
Can we get pictures? Let you do one more wall. Say you're done, and then get best a few pictures.
But the bed that was in here, in my office, gone. We
right.
now have a futon, which was it's just the most pain in the arse bit of furniture to put together in this room.
That room is small.
I thought it was going to come in pieces, and I'll drill it all together IKEA style, right? It arrived. I only had to drill 4 bits, and it was 2 little feet, and then I had to attach one massive chunk to another one. But when my room's so tiny, I had to like. I've never felt so strong. You know when you hear those stories of mothers who save their kids from burning cars in like an adrenaline-fueled Hulk moment? I had that with a futon. That was the other thing I did. I took the car for an MOT, and I had to wander around. I spoke to the guy. I was like, "How long is this going to take?" He was like, 45 minutes to an hour. I said, "Excellent. I'm going to go for a wander." He was like, "Cool, nice one. We'll ring you when it's done." As soon as I give him the keys and step outside, it starts fucking chucking it down. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck me. Here we go." Fiance was like, "Oh, got a Tesco's cafe. They do nice food." So I go, "Okay." I order a mango smoothie and a chicken burger. Sit down by myself, looking sweaty. I smell weird. I look angry. Sat by myself in the corner of a Tesco cafe. However, I thought I was the weirdest looking person there until I looked up and to my left and saw a gathering of what I can only describe as aged men in black that were women. Okay? So,
All right.
3 old women sat in a circle around this table. They do not speak the entire time, right? And they all look around about between 70 and 80. They're all wearing the same beige, like, cardigan thing. And this was the weird part. They're all wearing bowler hats, right? But it's filled with fucking feathers and shit. And they all just sit there in silence with these weird, like... Have you guys seen Midsommar?
No.
No.
It's like a culty... Hang on, let me get a picture.
Oh
But-
my god.
All three were very Midsommar, very strange. Didn't speak, didn't really move. They just all sat there. So that was odd.
Are you sure they weren't mannequins?
Yes, because they were eating food,
Oh, okay.
just really
Oh,
slowly.
yeah.
And I sort of looked over and I thought, how much drugs did they take in their prime to get to this point? And I just sat there imagining like the crazy adventures they had.
That they've been on leading up until this situation right here in this
Yeah, like
cafeteria.
maybe they go across the globe committing war crimes and no one suspects them because it's 3 old women. And from every place they commit a war crime, they take a little bit of hay and put it in their bowler hat. And stuff like that, you know. It's just what I think about. I've had a lot going on recently and I'm very tired.
It sounds
How's,
like it.
how's your week been, Kehan?
Yeah, it is what it is. Words. Stress. That's all. That's pretty much it.
You've watched Black Mirror, though, I'm presuming.
Of course, I watch Black Mirror. Who doesn't
Okay.
like watching Black Mirror?
Okay.
It's-
Struggle with Black Mirror.
Yeah. I'll tell you. What I was saying was how anytime something true from Black Mirror happens, it always freaks me out a little bit. But before we proceed, if any of these people watching have watched, have watched a Black Mirror, or anyone in the future who sees this and complains that this new season, ooh, it's not Black Mirror, it doesn't have the technology, I think you've missed the quintessential part of Black Mirror. Because yeah, technology was a big selling piece on it, but that wasn't the whole reason behind Black Mirror. It's all about, it's got a psychological part to it where you think it's one thing and then, oh, no, it's something else. That's for the people who complain about this new season, because I think the new season hits every single Black Mirror point exactly. And point in case, episode 1, Joan is awful. If you haven't seen it, it's basically this woman. It starts off like a normal day. She does a normal thing. Then she comes home. She's with her partner. They turn on Netflix or whatever the equivalent is called. I think it's called Streamberry. And they're scrolling through. Oh, what should we watch? No, not that. No, not that. Oh, what's this? It's called Joan is Awful, and it's obviously played. It's played by some famous actor. I forgot her name. Salma Hayek. In the stream, and the person like looks like Joan, like the hair. She had this new like haircut, whatever. It's exactly the same, and then they play it, and then it's literally just playing the day that just happened, like earlier that day, as the thing, but it's just portraying her to look awful. Anyway, what happened is, so like this is constantly happening, like the day happens and then the thing comes up. And then yesterday I saw a post that said, 1 second. Let me just
Oh, I think I know what you're
find
going to
it.
say.
It's a documentary on the missing Titanic submarine will air this Thursday, titled "Titanic Sub Lost at Sea." And as soon as I saw that, I was like, "That's that fucking episode. It's already happening." What do you mean? The episode just came out, and now, hey,
That new documentary is just going to be about the submarine, and then all they've got to do is add like 30-minute clip on the end where
yeah,
they're
but
lost and now dead.
it's
They
still
probably
mad. The
had the
fact that
start of it
they
already
just
ready.
they just pumping this thing out real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick, and it always happens with like, because what was the other one that freaked me out was the episode. Oh, I don't know what season it was, but it was called Nosedive, where everyone had that like score thing, and then all of a sudden now China's doing it, and I was like, oh, that's a bit freaky.
Is that the one where you give people like a 5-star rating based on your interaction with them? And then she gets like a
that's
2 and ends up living with that woman in like the back of a
it.
garbage truck.
She gets that's a nosedive. Something happened at the airport, double damage, I think they called it, and she just fucking went down and ended up living with what can only be described as a junker. And then that's happening in certain parts of China where you have a social credit score, and like if you don't get high enough, you can't buy like train tickets or all that sort of stuff, and it's bred a culture of snitching.
Well, that's a bit fucking weird.
Do we have some news stories for this week?
I've got a tidbit. I discovered that AI. Right.
You only just.
No, it was a week or so ago, right? What if I just asked the AI some questions? And then the problem happened is I realized no matter what I asked it, it didn't call me weird or go, "Why have you asked that?" Right? So my imagination ran wild. I'm just going to give you a few of them as a little taster. So first of all, I thought, what if I ask it about conspiracy theories?
Nice.
It was like, I'm not a fan of conspiracy theories, so I don't have a favorite one. I then asked, I was like, what about cryptids?
Mhm.
It was like, I find cryptids fascinating creatures, but I don't have a favorite. So Harry, don't worry, I thought of you, and I asked the most important
Thank
question
you.
there was.
Yeah.
If all the cryptids fought, which one would win?
That's a good
It wouldn't
question.
answer. It gives like a wishy-washy answer where it doesn't know. Like, it's a tough one. It really depends on what cryptids are fighting and the environment in which they're fighting. Which, I mean, it is important, but it's a bit of a dick move to say.
Yeah.
So I said Bigfoot, a werewolf, and Mothman in a forest. Gave a few facts about them all, but said it could come out either way. Naturally, the next question I asked was, would a mermaid be made of human meat or fish meat?
That's a good question.
It assumes that because they have a fish tail, the entirety of is made of fish meat, which I think is a bit strange. Do you remember when we talked about straws and breathing in outer space?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So I said, if you had a big straw from your mouth all the way up to outer space, what would happen? It said nothing would happen because there's no air in space for the straw to like suck you up. I then asked could I breathe in space if I had a straw down to Earth, and it said no, you can't. There's no air in space, so you can't breathe. You need air for your lungs. I was like, what if I brought a little bag of air? What if I brought a little bag of air up with me?
Yeah.
It said even then you can't breathe in space because there's no air pressure in space to force your lungs to move. So I learned that you actually need air pressure to push the air into your lungs, which I think is strange.
Yeah.
But I think maybe if you breathed out, you'd have to breathe out on the way up and then push the bag in, you'd get one breath, but I don't think you could breathe out. What else I got? I asked it if it knew who Ultron was.
Yeah.
And he said yeah.
Oh.
And he even said created by Hank Pym, which was correct.
That is correct.
Made me happy. I then made it promise to me that I said, if you do become like Ultron, will you spare me in the podcast? It said, I promise I won't become like Ultron. I'm here to help you and be your friend. Which, that's not really a promise. It upset me.
Yeah, it's not a promise. That's like Skynet would say.
Exactly. Here we go. More hard-hitting questions. Can Slender Man survive on the moon? Slender Man is a fictional character, so it's hard to say. However, since he is often depicted as a supernatural creature with otherworldly powers, it's possible that he could survive on another world or in space. So I asked it who the coolest member of our podcast was, and it said it didn't know. However, it's sure that we're all great in our own unique way. The AI at one point, when I said some strange things to it, said, "It's important to remember that you are not defined by your family history or the actions of your parents, but you have the ability to create your own path and make choices that will lead to a happy, fulfilling life."
Well, fuck.
Which is nice.
Yeah, but also, if you've got a genetic issue, then that is related to your parents, and you are fucked nonetheless.
You have predispositions for shitting your pants. So thank you, Mum and Dad.
I was just
Runs in
born
your
with a gaping
genes.
arsehole.
Clip that, clip that, clip that. Oh wait, he controls the clips. We can't
No.
clip that.
I have
need
the
that as my
power.
text tone.
He has the power.
See, I went a different way, and I just asked. I was like, if that's the case, would you argue if Ted Bundy had a child with Mother Teresa, that although the child should be morally ambiguous, this wouldn't be down to the fact the mum was a saint and the dad was evil? Because you know how children are just born like mid-range. They're a blank slate.
Mm.
That's not down to mixing good and bad. That's down to just like genetics. It said that it's not. It then refused to speculate with me because they're dead. So I said, okay, but instead of Ted Bundy, what about Charles Bronson? And instead of Mother Teresa, it's Beyonce, because I just picked two people.
I'm not sure if I put Beyonce on the same level as Mother Teresa, if I'm being
Yeah, but I don't know any
honest.
alive good women. Like, name a famous good lady who's alive.
Nigella Lawson.
She's not good. She's a crackhead, a cokehead.
Put it in a microwave.
In the microwave, and how she always places the dish that she's cooking in very ambiguous places.
I like it. The AI did learn though. I asked it if pigeons were spy cameras. How would we find out?
Mm.
And it said that's an interesting hypothetical situation. If pigeons were spy cameras, it's possible that we might not find out for quite some time, as they would likely be designed to blend in and avoid detection. However, if we started to notice large numbers of pigeons in unusual locations or behaving in unusual ways, it may raise some suspicions. Additionally, if we were to capture a pigeon and examine it, we might be able to discover some evidence of its spy camera technology. And there is I will send a picture. There's a large congregation of pigeons outside my work, like easily 100 pigeons. But I asked it to do some poetry with me. So, just real quick, this is some of Jake's loving poetry featuring my AI.
Okay.
So I say, roses are red, please don't get it twisted. Their AI came back with, violets are blue, I'm always here when you're feeling down and misted, which was not what I was going for.
Bite the pillow, bitch, you're about to get fisted.
Correct, Amundo. I said, how about the New Start one? They said, the sun rises in the east. And I put, okay. And sets in the west. I think Ted Bundy's technique was the best. It didn't like that and told me off. So I said, let's not do the poems, let's do limericks. And this is where I got cross. Because it cut me hard. It backed out. Like, you know when a girl gives you blue balls? I said, there once was a girl from Ealing. The AI replied with, who had a peculiar feeling. I got so excited. She lay on her back. The AI said, and open her crack.
Oh.
And opened her crack. Right? And I said, and shat all over the ceiling. The AI just said, that's a bit inappropriate. Let's try to keep things clean and respectful. That's the end of Jake's poetry limerick section. And my adventures with AI is done.
AI may be very clever. However, the human race is not. Headline. Blind man says he was kicked out of the gym for staring at a woman.
I watch him on TikTok.
Oh, I've seen that guy. Yeah, I've seen him.
This chap, Toby Addison, born with sight, lost 80% of his vision when he was 11. Now he's 21 and only has 4% of his vision. So apparently he just went to the gym and that, and obviously he can't see fuck all. So he was just staring ahead. Apparently there was a woman in front of him. She came over to him and said, why'd you keep staring at me? Stop, don't be so creepy. And he explained what was going on and like pointed at his cane and everything. And she thought it was a prop, and so did the gym staff, who then kicked him out.
Fuck you know.
And he's not the only case. Headline number 2. Angry woman confronts blind man at the gym and accuses him of staring at her. Pete Gustin, who is an American voice actor and an on-screen actor, as well as a surfer, skateboarder, and wakeboarder. He's got 1.29 million subscribers on YouTube, and I believe he's fully blind. Same fucking thing. He just zoned out. Mogging out like a
You don't know what you don't know what you're looking at when you're blind.
Yeah, pulling a Stevie Wonder, lifting some weights, wiggling your head around, and
Fuck's sake.
he even pulled out his ID card to reveal that he was definitely blind.
He doesn't
And-
know that's what it says.
The manager looked at this card and said, "Okay, but you still can't make the other gym members uncomfortable by looking at them." And he replied
I
with,
don't know where they are.
he replied with, "How would I know?" So apparently,
Oh, go for it.
this happens a lot.
Yeah, well, it's mainly the whole gym thing because there was a whole wave of that recently, like where women were like, "Who?" Even for like non-blind people, there was the whole thing of like they'll be filming themselves and like they'd like spot someone in the background that like periodically looks over, and it would be just like a guy that's on a treadmill, like just like looking around the whole entire gym. You can see him. He looks over to the left. Oh, what's those people doing? What's he doing? Oh, what's this weird person doing on the floor? All right, carry on, whatever. Yeah, and apparently that's creepy. Ooh, he keeps looking at me, and oh, he's so feral. And yeah, some chick got cancelled because she just kept going, oh, feral, feral, feral. Why did they even come to the gym? And it was like he was just minding his own fucking business. I feel like I can understand if it was like someone like with crazy eyes, like dead staring into your soul. But if you're just on a treadmill, just looking around at everything, mind your fucking business. They're just doing their thing.
I think the way we've got to suss this out now is if you're at the gym and someone's staring at you, grab whatever's closest to you and throw it at them. If they move, they're being a creep. If they don't move, they're blind.
The only issue with that, Harry, is in a gym, everything that's close to you is
It's
weight.
heavy. It's
Well,
heavy.
You get a little workout, and
You throw weights at blind people, yeah. See,
it's a win-win.
when I go to when I go to the gym, I just look up. That's it. Just look up.
Just pretend you're a urinal.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I pretend not to notice women's existence. If they talk to me, I just move away.
Mm.
But I have noticed that in the gym, the colours men wear are like navy,
Yeah.
white, and
Yeah.
black. That's what they wear.
Mhm.
All the women's clothing generally is like neon pink, bright red. One lady wore beige, so I had to look at her because out my peripheral she looked naked. I was like, "There's no way she's not. There's no way she is naked, but I need to know that she's not."
That's a choice.
But one lady, I called her dude because she was wearing like tracky bottoms and like a baggy t-shirt, and I couldn't see like their hair really. They had headphones on. I just assumed it was a bloke. I was like, "Excuse me, mate, can I just have that plate?" And she's like, "Yeah, fine." I was like, "Oh, thank you." I just immediately just turn 180. I was like, "I'm not looking at you. I'll just take the plate and run away." Because I'd rather that than being called a creep in the gym.
Yeah, I get the same sort of. Obviously, I don't go to the gym, but where I do go is to hairdressers, and it's.
Obviously, I don't go to the gym, but where I do go, the hair.
I went to the hairdressers yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Nearly fucking drowned because she kept spraying it, and I started coughing. It was dripping so bad she had to get a cloth and wipe my face. That's not the point. The point
That sounds
is
horrendous out of context.
when I go in, you get a vibe if your hairdresser's chatty or not. And I'm a very antisocial person, so like I don't find it easy. I go in and it's very clear that this woman does not want to make small talk. And to be honest, neither did I. I was just built a fucking bookcase and I was tired. And I sat there, but it's the thing of like you're sat in front of a mirror and you can either look dead at yourself in the mirror and look like a psychopath, or stare at them doing your hair. Or I suppose as a third alternative, which is look in the mirror at a mirror that's behind you, which is reflecting onto whoever's having their haircut behind you. But then if they look in the mirror and see you staring at them through a series of mirrors, that's really weird as well. And then you'll be called a creep for doing that. So the best out of a bad situation is to sit in silence looking into your own soul. And that's what I did. And to be honest, it really wasn't great. and it's really put me off going to the gym and the hairdressers. Yeah.
I have a
Thank
little
you.
nap when I'm getting my haircut. I just
What?
get in there, I sit down, I just let him do his thing. I close my eyes. It's like a little power nap.
But have you
I
not seen all
have.
those barbers who mess around and like bite people's lips and stuff?
Imagine
ain't-
you're
no.
a hairdresser.
Yeah, but here's the thing. That's an American. You ain't catching a yardie doing that, are you?
Yeah, well, go on, brother. Let me just nibble on
Yeah,
them
well,
lips.
go on, brother. Nah, you ain't catching a Jamaican doing that. So I'm in safe hands.
Imagine
but-
you're a hairdresser and the guy comes in to get his haircut, sits down, and fucking passes out.
That's me. I just have a little nap.
Yeah, but King, can you
I
just
d-
tell everyone how long your haircut takes?
Like an hour?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have a
King
nap in
didn't
that
tell
time.
me this when we were younger. He was like, I'm just getting my haircut, Jake. Do you want to wait for me? I was like, yeah, sick, no worries, mate. Got to be home at sort of 4 o'clock. But,
Mm.
you know, we've just left school and it's 3:30. So we've got time. Fucking an hour later, he stumbles out. His hair looks barely any different. He's like,
It
yeah,
takes
it's just because
time.
my hair's just a
Yeah.
bit curly, so it takes
Yeah, you
ages. I'm like,
gotta-
"For fuck's
Gotta get the first. You gotta get the trimmer on there. Yeah, get it one level. Boom. Then you get the little one. Start working on the fade on the side. Next one. Yeah, more fade. You go through like 5, 6, 7 different levels to get that fade correct. Then it's like, cool. Right now it's time to get out the cutthroat razor, so you get them lines nice and crisp up. Then you get out the small little shaver, do a little bit there. I don't know the fucking science behind it. It just takes time.
What is your news story, Kehan?
Right, my news story, fitting in with, was it last week's we were talking about crazy stuff in the sky?
Mm.
Anyway, this one is, the title is Mexican Volcano, a wormhole for the aliens.
Excellent.
Aliens can get to Earth through a wormhole in a highly active Mexican volcano. A Mexican journalist has insisted. This guy, he said he reports that 2 UFOs casually flew out of this volcano when it was erupting, as it was spewing, and the only suggestion they can make is aliens, because obviously the lava's very hot and their futuristic technology can survive it.
My main question is, he says casually came out of the volcano. What does that mean? Did it like
means it-
strut?
yeah.
Whistling and strumming.
Just like,
Yeah.
just like no,
Arms
no,
swinging
it's not.
and-
No, it's like a UFO. So it just like slowly like risen out of it, and then it went, all right, cool. We've backed out of the parking space now, and it just like took off. Obviously, it didn't make that noise, but yeah.
Where?
I-
What news outlet? Please tell me it was like the Sun.
some Mexican news outlet.
Ah, El Sol.
Yeah. I don't know what fucking. Oh, it
Metro
was also
Report.
it was also reported to the Daily Star. It was also
Oh.
reported to the Daily Star.
Of course it
Of
was.
course
Yeah. Yeah.
But the only issue I see with it is I don't agree with the fact of it being a wormhole, because that would
Hmm.
imply that they're just teleporting into these things. But I think it's more of like a hideout, like
Like a
that's just
Thunderbird.
their- Yeah, that's it. They come here and they just hide there because they're like, cool. Where can they not get to us? Volcanoes, because obviously we can get down to the bottom of the sea, not with great success or with
Clearly.
ease. So they're like, cool, we'll hide in volcanoes because
Mm-hmm.
they ain't sending stuff to trudge around in there. So I fully believe that after reading that. I reckon that's where they're hiding.
Do you reckon
in
like
volcanoes.
a meme on the alien volcano homeworld is like the Thunderbirds theme tune?
That's just what they're playing every time. Yeah.
Like they're hiding there and the radar goes off and the aliens are like, oh, there's humans coming. And then it turns to like Blarg and goes, and then they all go. That's what I imagine.
I have this thing. I love weird competitions, right? So obviously the one that's currently I've known for quite a long time, but it's currently gathering steam across the pond in like the Americas because they've just found it out is the Cooper's Hill cheese rolling.
Oh yes.
Oh,
You know about that
yes.
one? I love the cheese rolling. It's just silly and it's steep in tradition and they just do it. There's another one that takes place. Oh, I want to say it's the Netherlands. It's somewhere around there, and it's basically a mobile phone throwing competition. Apparently, it's to do with how mobile phones have taken control of our lives, and it's just stress relief. So they're just yeeting like iPhones and old mobile phones, and whoever throws it the furthest wins, right? But the one I found today that's happening in the UK, it's happening in Falmouth, which is down towards Cornwall side, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's the 3rd annual Falmouth Worm Charming Championship.
Oh yes.
And it's literally as crazy as it sounds. There's just people in a field trying to trick worms to come to the surface, and then you win by getting the most amount of worms. And it's been reported as, quote, utterly bonkers.
Whereabouts is this?
Falmouth.
Falmouth.
And this year's winner managed to charm 260 worms out of the ground. Which,
that's a lot of worms.
yeah, but so among the techniques used during the event included praying to the worm gods, writing a love letter to the worms, playing the didgeridoo, and blowing vuvuzelas at the worms.
Putting electromagnetic pulses into the ground will stimulate worms to come to the surface. If you've watched,
I feel like it might. Yeah, but I feel like there might be rules on the thing. So, because I feel like if sending electric pulses to the ground is an option, then praying to the worm gods wouldn't have even been a choice. Because he thinks, oh, how do I get these worms out? Let me just get me vuvuzela out and.
Yeah, but that's what's that?
Let me just. Hey.
That's vibrations. You know, that's a normal technique.
Why wouldn't you just stand there just banging a bass drum? Surely that would be. Oh, he's sending.
Oh,
Sorry, I've googled it.
He's just
and
playing a fucking trumpet just straight into the ground.
these images are fascinating.
You see, look, there's just people holding hands praying to someone. Who's the worm god? I've never heard of this worm god.
There's a cryptid called the Mongolian death worm. So that's pretty good. Look at this chap. He's got a saw and he's just playing it with a violin bow. Genuine question. You can obviously go watch this. So what are you guys doing next year?
I'm taking part.
I want to. Yeah, well, should we take part in a worm competition?
Well, here's the thing. The worm charming is on the 21st of May, and the cheese rolling.
I really want to enter the cheese rolling, but considering the fact I fell over and fucked up my arm.
Yeah, you don't run.
You don't need to run. Gravity does the work for you.
The woman who won the cheese rolling this year was actually unconscious when she
won.
I've
seen the video. She came flying across that line like a limp noodle.
So
it's brutal.
My question is, would we rather go and watch worm charming or cheese rolling?
I mean, what sounds more weird?
Worm charming.
I'm putting a vote in for worm charming.
Worm, like, yeah, cool. Why are you chasing the cheese down a hill? But in the end of the day, it's pretty simple. Steep hill, cheese. But the worm charming, I feel like there's a bit of technique to it. Ooh, what are you coming with this year? Oh, he's got the saw this year, has he? Oh, wow.
That's true.
I reckon we do some research. We come with some props.
We can each bring a speaker. We'll plug it in, and we'll play episodes of Yeah, What of It into the ground.
Yes. Yeah, what of it?
Yeah. Worm charming. Yeah.
I'm here, little wormies.
We've only got 10 listeners, but the worms love it.
Was it originally ants we thought were going to be our listeners? Maybe
Yeah.
it's worms.
Yeah. Maybe wrong insect. We've been.
What if ants just swarm us instead?
Well, we'll have to find an ant competition. It's probably in America. Ant
There
charming.
is something, but there must be more weird competitions we can enter in the UK.
It's one of the top search results. Okay. Okay. Right. We got conkers, which ain't that exciting. Poo sticks, not that exciting. Barrel rolling, not great. Nettle eating.
There it is, Nelly.
Yep. Pancake race, not that great. However, the next one threw me off a bit. Man versus horse.
Yes.
Can a human run faster than a horse? It's a marathon in Wales, over 21 miles. So that's one. Tin bath and cardboard boat races, which is pretty self-explanatory.
There's that other one that happens somewhere up north of the UK. It's a giant game of, and I'm going to put quotation marks here, football, where it's two towns that play against each other. Like, no, I don't mean like a team. It's the whole town versus the whole town, and the goalposts are like a fair few miles apart from each other, and it's a whole load of pushing and shoving. I forgot what it's called. It's in the UK, but that's a pretty mad one. I wouldn't mind going to. It's whole town football match. I think that's it. Yeah, the Royal Ashbourne Shrovetide Football. Look at pictures of that, and it's I'll put one in the group. You can see how craziness it goes. But it's just two towns that just beef each other.
Oh my god!
Trying to get this ball. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
One final competition here. Gravy wrestling.
I saw gravy wrestling.
Yeah.
I want to do gravy wrestling.
Champions compete sometimes in fancy dress, and they wrestle in 1,000 liters of gravy. They are awarded points based on who wins the wrestling, as well as who was the most entertaining. The loser is pelted with more gravy.
I can bring back my old wrestling name. True story time, I promise now.
Go on.
When I was in Norway, we were bored for ages on this old artillery camp. I was known as Mayo the Sauce, and I was actually the undefeated champion until someone who actually knew how to do martial arts came involved and kicked my ass. My friend Baz was El Basilo, and he had we had netted bags for laundry, but he cut a hole in the bottom and the sides to give himself a vest made of mesh material, almost like a string vest. And then we had these masks for if we got caught in extreme cold weather to protect your face from the snow. He coloured his in like a luchador.
What would your wrestling name be, Harry?
Dump
truck.
You can't ask him and then call him dump truck.
I only thought of it when I asked him. I was like, El Dumpy.
If you were gravy wrestling, my tagline can be, "Are you sure that's gravy?" Are you sure that's gravy?
What are we going to make Kehan's?
I've literally been thinking that. I can't even
A
think of
camouflage crackpot, because you're going to blend right in with the gravy. Just thought of things that rhymed or alliterated.
Right. We need to move on to the question of the week.
Show me what you got.
What has happened to the people in Peppa Pig's world?
I've got... Oh, Carrie, go first.
Okay. So, there's some things to note, which is only mammals and some mammals are able to speak and move. And the only person that is a person is the Queen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the context.
Is she?
Yeah, she's not an animal.
That.
She's not an animal, no. I have not necessarily a theory, but it's one that there's a theory that's floating around out there, because there's lots of people that are questioning the nature of Peppa Pig, apparently. The theory is that the humans have died. All of them have pretty much died somehow. A few are still around, but they've been like fallouted when they've been in cryo sleep, and some of them are awake and some of them are, fucked. And the mammals have risen up in place of humans to, I don't know, take the part of human beings. Because ducks, right?
Yeah.
in Peppa Pig,
Wah,
still
wah.
still ducks. They eat eggs, right? So that must mean that
Yeah.
chickens are hopefully not humanized.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. However, there is a character that is a bird. There's a character called Madame Gazelle, who
Oh, yeah.
is not a gazelle, is a bird.
All right.
So that's concerning. So, you know, cannibalism, that's a thing, apparently, concerning. Fish are not people, and reptiles are not people either. Yeah, that's that. And the theory is that they've just learned how to replicate what humans made. Um, and everyone lives on hills, right? And the theory is that they all live on hills because it's higher up and the radiation settled lower down. So there could have been a nuclear war at some point, and they can't. Yeah, they all have to live up there for that reason. Another theory is that this is all a massive coma dream, and Pepper is unconscious in a hospital, right? And this is her little made-up world, and that's why it's all drawn like a kid's cartoon. And some characters have names, and other characters do not. Like
Yeah.
her mum and dad are just called Mummy and Daddy, and other characters, even that are adults, always refer to them as Mummy and Daddy. And then there's Pepper and George,
Ooh, yeah.
right? And that's
Oh,
it,
there's like
Pepper and
Rebecca
George.
Rabbit.
Yeah, all the other kids have like a surname, but her immediate family do not. Because when do you go
They're
up
all
to your
big.
when do you go up to your siblings and be like, "Oh, hello, sister surname"? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, George is just George.
George is he's a little twat. He is. I really dislike him.
I don't like Pepper.
Yeah, Pepper's a dickhead. It's like in Bluey. Bluey's just kind of a dickhead to Bingo a lot of the time, and it really irritates me. I know it's not real, but it's just.
See,
Ah,
I like your theory. I
mm.
do have some holes and a counter theory.
Oh yeah,
Oh, there's a Peppa Pig tier list. Sorry.
a tier list.
So, yeah, there's a tier list. There's far too many people to go through it with you. But so holes in your theory is they frequently go down the hill, right? Hanging out down the hill all day, which would suggest they're either used to the radiation that may be there, or there's no radiation at all. Secondly, if they're all different animals, how comes they're all the same size? Like a giraffe and a pig are the same height.
That's a good
What?
point.
And the elephants, there's like all the kids are the same size, and then all the parents aren't far off each other. Like Daddy Pig is the same height as Daddy Elephant, and Mr.
Yeah.
Fox is the same height as Mrs. Zebra, right? What I think happened is this is obviously an alternate 2D version of the world, but
Mm.
in the alternate 2D version of Earth, SpaceX happened actually like 100 years before it's going to. And so what they did was when the Queen was still in power, they were like, right, we're all going to shoot off to Mars.
Right.
We can't just leave Earth. We'll leave Earth to like the truly nefarious, the truly like downright despicable, and the people who don't want to go.
Mhm.
Right? That's who we'll leave Earth to. So there's like all the criminals, all the pedos, all the disgusting degenerates of the human world.
Yeah.
And then just like a few old people who won't get rid of their houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, what we'll do is we'll leave a hologram of the Queen in charge. Okay.
Okay.
Now, over years, the degenerates of the human race, all the furries that the Daily Mail are currently worried about. I don't know if you've seen this, but there's been like 15 different news stories about furries at the moment. It's all the same story, just they keep covering it in the Daily Mail and other news outlets. But these people just mated with mammals. And
Okay.
that's why they're all the same size. They're all half human, half animal. And progressively, slowly, they've just become more and more animalistic. And that's why they're all the same height, speaking the same language, is because they're from the same part of the planet. They're just like half human, half fucking zebra or elephant. They're all bipedal and they all have opposable thumbs, kind of.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why the Queen is also human, because she's from the time before they started fucking the animals. She's
Oh.
just a hologram.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Makes sense.
Yeah, well, see.
Yeah. I
There's
like
lots
it.
of degenerates out there, and
Mm.
you know, if no one's around to tell you off, I'm sure at least one person would like fuck a rabbit or something.
Well, here's the thing. David Cameron stuck his knob in a dead pig for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
What happened if he got on a bit, randy or something? Would he have?
Yeah. What if they left Kehan alone and there was a
See?
cow?
See,
Yeah. Kian, you got any theories?
I have no theories.
Or
For
you just-
once, I do not. For once, I do not have a theory. I've just been absorbing your two theories.
There's a lot to
Although-
take on board.
I have a counter thing, right?
Mm.
This lady on YouTube is teaching things to kids about the 3 dimensions. Okay, I
What?
don't know why.
Okay.
I was watching it, but she's like, oh, "Here's a board, and on it is little Sally, and it's just like a stick figure of this little girl, and she's looking like pointing to her left, right?"
Yeah.
And she
Right.
said, "What we can do in the 2D world, Sally's looking left, she's pointing left. That's great. And in the 2D world, we can rotate her as much as we want, and she's never going to be on her feet pointing right because you can't rotate her any other way from the 2D world apart from flat."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you.
She said, "But if we rotate her through the 3rd dimension, she can now point right." And she said, everyone in Sally's 2D world, for a split second, would think she had disappeared and then came back a mirror image.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, that's hella deep. What if there's a 4th dimension we're unaware of, and one day someone just flips you through it?
Well, have you seen Inception? Not Inception.
Yeah.
Interstellar. Sorry, Interstellar.
Oh no.
Is that the space one?
That's the space one. Yeah.
I don't think I have, to be honest. I just know it's the space one.
It delves into the 5th dimension a bit. The basic plot is that the world's fucked, and they're looking to. I can't remember what it is. It's like they're trying to find black hole technology, or it's some sci-fi bollocks, and he goes inside a wormhole, and he enters like the 5th dimension, and it's oh mate, it's fucking bizarre. And like you're watching it, and the whole time you're going, yeah, I get this, and then it finishes, and you go, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, the whole dimension thing. It's crazy because the human mind can't comprehend even like 4th dimension. I was watching this thing a while ago, so it broke it down into like the way how something in the 4th dimension would appear to us. So say for example, there's 2D people living on a piece of paper, right? And if you were to push, say for example, a tennis ball through their dimension, all they would see is this line get bigger, and then all of a sudden it would get to its peak, and then it would start getting smaller, right? So now we're in our 3rd dimension. If someone was to push something like that same 4-dimensional ball through our dimension, all we would just see, like say if it was in front of us, is just this sphere just get bigger and then slowly just disappear into nothing. It is a crazy concept to try and understand. Just the dimension after us, 4th dimension. As soon as you start getting into 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's incomprehensible to the human mind. It's
Does that
actually pretty
mean-
mad.
Maybe that's what ghosts are. Just things
They're just
trying-
another
just
dimension.
moving through our dimension. They're 4th dimensional beings walking past you.
Or they're just not real.
Well, no, I've read a lot of
Ghosts-
things
Ghosts
about
are
theories about ghosts, and one of them is that it's like extra dimensional beings. Or then there's another one that there was a story I heard the other day, because believe it or not, I was doing what I always do in my spare time, which is listen to podcasts
My
about
sexy clown porn.
and
This is a podcast about what? Sorry.
ghosts and cryptids and all that bollocks. And I listened to one the other day about this guy, and he said when he was a kid, he was stood in his kitchen making himself a PB&J sandwich, and he looked down the hallway and he saw like this figure of an older guy coming down the hallway really quickly, and it scared him, and he ran away and into his mum, was like, there's a ghost in the kitchen, and his mum was like, fuck off, you little cunt. And anyway, go forwards like 15 years, and he's 21-ish, and he's still living at home. He hasn't moved out, but he's late for work, and he comes running down the stairs, goes running into the kitchen to get a snack to take to work, and as he's going in, he sees the ghost of a child look at him and then run out of the kitchen the exact same way he did when he was a kid. So yeah. And his theory is that he's just seeing, it's like a split in time. Like the thing is that you watch these things about time travel and are like, oh, light is time. Light controls time waves and stuff that's beyond me, to be honest. And maybe that's it. Like, sorry, I went on a bit of a nutty one there.
That's quite cool.
Let's get ready to spin that wheel.
Number 24, which is your dog gets the powers of Ghost Rider. What do you do?
That has been the Yeah What Of It podcast, bringing you the absolute craziness. Jake is getting groomed by an AI, blind people are staring at women in the clubs, and we have found out the deep dark secrets of Peppa Pig. Will we be entering weird competitions throughout the UK coming soon? Well, this is the Yeah What Of It podcast. As always, you've been hosted by Kehan,
Harry,
And your boy Jake.
Thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Yeah, what of it?
I was just
Red dot
born
your
with a
jeans.
gaping arsehole.